If you are watching this, I assume that you managed to grab some tickets for BTS's Wembley concert. Congratulations. Also, I'm just going to add in here that I am extremely proud of us and the boys for now having 2 sold out shows in Wembley. It's unreal. Now that the stressful part of fighting for your ticket is out of the way, you can officially start planning your trip to London, home of the Queen and British Pride. I am making this video in the hopes of providing you with some useful information for the days leading up to the event and the day of the event itself. These are just general travel tips and do not directly correlate to the BTS show itself. I hope to make another video that is entirely centered around the show itself soon. This video will include hotel advice, travel tips, tube information, and a few pieces of information about restaurants that you can find around Wembley Stadium. I hope you enjoy this video and take some useful pieces of information away from it. Section 1. Hotels. Unfortunately, at this point, the cheaper and closer hotels to the actual stadium have already been fully booked over the nights of the 31st of May and the 1st and 2nd of June. Armies really are planned and prepared. If you are rich, or you want to spend a lot of money, you could book into the Best Western Plus hotel that is less than 0.5 miles away from Wembley, but £405 per night for a single room is a lot of money when you have just bought your concert tickets. If you haven't booked your hotel yet, you will have to look at going slightly further away from the stadium. But luckily this distance means it is a cheaper room for you. For example, you could stay in the King Solomon Hotel for just £53 per night. It is 3.5 miles away from the stadium, but London is full of travel opportunities such as the bus, underground and taxis, so it should be easy for you to get back to the stadium for the concert. I recommend going on to Hotel Trivago, where you can easily compare prices of several hotels as well as how far away they are from the stadium. I will leave the link to the website in the description below. Section 2. Travel tips. For the first part of the travel information, I am going to tell you about a fantastic coach service that is being run by the National Express. On both the 1st and the 2nd of June, National Express shall be running coaches from over 50 locations across the UK specifically for travelling to the BTS concert. They will take you right up to Wembley's coach park, so it is a very easy way to travel. National Express are the official coach provider for Wembley Stadium, so you know they can be trusted. The best part is, adult return fares start from as little as £28. And if you would like to travel home on the same night, coaches shall be leaving to take you back home at 11:15, so you will not have to worry about a hotel. Of course, this option will not be ideal for everyone, as it is not possible for them to depart from every town or city in the UK, but it is worth looking into as it could save you a lot on travel and hotel expenses, and that money could be used for buying some amazing merch at the concert. I shall leave the link to the National Express website in the description below. For the second part of this section, I shall talk to you about trains. These are the normal trains that you could use to travel to London and to the stadium itself. I shall cover underground trains in a later section. According to the Trainline website, it should be rather easy for you to reach Wembley Stadium by train. There are 2 train stations near to the stadium. The closest train station, called Wembley Stadium Station, is approximately an 8-minute walk away from the stadium. This station can be reached by catching a train from London Marylebone, Jarrett's Cross and High Wycombe. These trains are quite frequent and all take less than 30 minutes to get to Wembley, so are ideal. The second station, Wembley Central Station, is a bit further out and around an 18-minute walk according to Google Maps, but it could be the easier option for many people. To get to this station you can grab a train from London Euston, Milton Keynes Central and Watford Junction. It is very likely that many people will go to Euston in order to get to London, so definitely consider this route if you will be going from your station to London Euston. Trains from both Euston and Watford will take under half an hour to get to Wembley. Milton Keynes will take over an hour and a half due to it being slightly further out. This station can also be accessed by the underground trains, but I shall talk more about that in the next section. Again, I shall leave a link to the Trainline's website in the description below. Section 3. The Underground. Getting around London is made a lot easier with underground trains. For many people, Thinking about using the underground can be quite nerve-wracking, so I hope these few tips help anyone who is considering using the tube whilst in London. First, let's talk about how you pay to use underground trains. This information is from the Transport for London website, so again I shall leave the link to this in the description below. On the Transport for London website, they recommend that you pay for the tube on a pay-as-you-go basis. The website states that with pay-as-you-go, it is cheaper than buying a single paper ticket, and if you make multiple trips in one day, the total cost of your daily travel will be capped and you will therefore pay less than if you bought a day travel card. There are 3 options when it comes to pay-as-you-go. Option 1. Contactless payment. Contactless cards can be used to pay for adult fares on the underground. For these, you simply press your regular payment card to the round yellow pad that is situated at ticket gates. You can also use Google Pay or Apple Pay as they work in the same way. Please note that if you are traveling from overseas, you may be charged more as your card will be a non-UK card. If this applies to you, I would recommend using one of the next 2 options, as it will make the whole experience both easier and cheaper for you. Option 2. Visitor Oyster card. Visitor Oyster cards are smart cards that are preloaded with pay-as-you-go credit. You can buy these online from the Travel for London visitor shop, or you can also buy it from Visit Britain shops, which offers several languages and currencies for those traveling from abroad. These cards are only available to buy online. Finally, we have option 3, Oyster card. You could also buy a regular Oyster card. You pay a £5 refundable deposit towards it and then add pay-as-you-go credit at top-up machines, which you can find in underground stations. For a regular Oyster card, there are more ways to purchase one. For example, they can be bought from Tube and London Overground stations. Also, there are around 3,900 local shops in London known as Oyster ticket shops that also sell them. And lastly, you can purchase them online. But this option is only available if you live in the UK. Just like contactless, Oyster cards are also used by tapping them against the yellow circle at the ticket gates. All of the information can be found on the Travel for London website in the description, and that website will also lead you to other websites where you can purchase the cards. In my opinion, I would recommend going with one of the Oyster card options, as you can preload the card with money and it will be easier to know what you are spending on what. Sometimes it can be a bit of a pain to have money coming directly out of your bank all of the time, especially if that money is being used to save for something else. But it is up to you. At the end of the day, they are all good and safe options. Next, I just want to take a moment to talk about my own experiences using the underground. I'm from a very small countryside-based city, so we have no form of transport that is as busy or daunting as the underground is. So naturally, I was rather scared about using the underground for the first time. But in reality, if you have planned out where you are going and know what route you need to take, the underground isn't really that bad. I won't lie to you, it is busy, but there are plenty of signs around, so you always know where you are going and if it is the right train for you. And if by any chance you do get lost, don't worry. Just try again. As I said, plan out your journey beforehand and you shall be fine. The tube consists of 11 different lines, which are basically your routes to take. All of the lines have a different color. It is better to know which line your required destination is on and then follow that color once you get to the tube station. Tube maps may look confusing with all of the lines, but there are multiple boards on the underground that clearly state the stations and the order in which they go in for the line that you are taking. It is best to count how many stops away your destination is, so when you come to go on the tube you know how far away your stop will be. Now for the next section, I will tell you about how to get to the stadium by tube. The closest tube station to Wembley is Wembley Park. It is right opposite the stadium. To get to this station you will want to take either the Metropolitan or the Jubilee line. The Jubilee line is the grey line and the Metropolitan is the purple line. Of course, I do not know which station you will be starting at to go to Wembley Park, but follow the purple or grey signs once you are in the tube station and you shall be fine. Please be aware that not all tube stations will be serviced by these lines, so please make sure you look up which stations are serviced by these lines so that you don't end up going to one that does not have the Metropolitan or the Jubilee line. I shall leave a link to a couple of websites that show you which stations are serviced by these lines in the description below. These websites will also show you which stations have an overlap in terms of the lines that run through them. So for example, if you couldn't get on the Jubilee line from the tube station you go to, but you could get on the Circle line, you could go to Westminster Underground station and then change there to grab a Jubilee line train. It will make more sense once you have a look at the website below. As I mentioned in my last section, the Wembley Central station is also an underground station. This one is on the Bakerloo line, which is the brown line. It will be a bit of a further walk when compared to the other station, but it is worth having a look at, especially if your nearest station runs the Bakerloo line but not the Jubilee or Metropolitan, as this means less changes for you on your journey. The tube can be quite a hard thing to explain, but I hope that this made sense. That was a lot of information to take in, so have this fun gif of J-Hope to look at as a little break before we move on to our final section. Section 4. Restaurants and cafes. This last section is going to cover food, because who doesn't love food? In all seriousness, on the days of the concerts it is extremely important to eat and drink. It is especially important to drink water to keep yourself hydrated. Trust me, you're going to be moving a hell of a lot during the concert out of pure excitement, and it will be extremely hot, so water beforehand is needed. So in this section, I'm going to provide you with 10 restaurants that are within walking distance from the stadium. Of course there are more than these 10 available, so I have left a link to a Google Maps page that will show you some more restaurants and cafes that are within walking distance. So here is my list of 10 restaurants/cafes that are within walking distance of Wembley Stadium. ZZ's Italian, Nando's, Pret, Caffè Nero, Starbucks, Handmade Burger Co., Pizza Express, Prizzo, TGI Fridays and Wagamama. And those suggestions bring us to the end of the video. I hope that you found this to be at least a little bit helpful. If you have any questions regarding the information, don't be afraid to leave them in the comments below. I will also leave a link to the UK-based Sugar fan base that I run in the description, as I update this with new concert information as and when I can. So feel free to ask me questions on there as well. I hope to upload another video regarding BTS concert information soon. That will hopefully include information such as timings, merchandise questions, rules of the stadium and more. So please leave any questions that you have regarding those sorts of topics too, as then I could create a little Q&A section from those comments. Thank you for watching, and I hope to upload again soon.